Hello, everybody. It is really late at night. Oh no, I think it's like 1:18 here in Florida. Um, it's a lot been going on. I just called the Lance Scurv thing. Man, today I watched like three different videos, and I don't know. It's strange because folks don't want me watching, and this is true. And earlier today, when I was in the car with my niece, I didn't catch them on camera. But they know I'm doing it. And I asked her real opinion. I was like, who do you think is wrong with this internet stuff and this lifestyle going on? And she said, I think it's wrong on both sides. And my side was them making me, bullying me and just acting a fool, and it's over with now. But if I was talking to a regular person and I told them I was being bullied, they'd just be like, why you ain't do this or why you didn't do that? So I really couldn't tell them. But to me, that was wrong for trying to put me in a situation. And just, and that's what they did at home. But since I knew I was getting on the internet, I don't know, I haven't seen, I don't know, that stuff, we haven't really talked much about it. But my sister gave me some sage and incense to help me, so I forgive her, but I didn't like being put in a situation. But anyway, let me go back. I was watching Lance Curve show, and I felt like he was talking to me because it was like those things just too common. And even Dr. Mumbai and who else? I don't know. It was those two, this the spirit. So today was an enjoyable day, and I want to be free. I want to be free, I'm have to keep myself engaged while I'm here. And, I'm defining my craft and what I like to do. I like to hang out with the kids and things like that. Adults are cool, but I have not been in a situation where I ain't been weirded the fuck out. Like, I think I showed the good and the bad. That's why I think my family was mad at me, because I showed the good and the bad. Why do only social media want you to show the good? You know? What incidents happened or what lessons I learned? I learned a lesson like not to play around with manifestation and people and just doing things I really didn't know too much about, or without getting guidance, because I feel like that went totally wrong. Like, I knew what I wanted, but I went about it wrong. So, me emailing the players, and I didn't even get a chance who I wanted to talk to when I was like, oh, I'm talking to your mom and y'all sisters. I want to talk to the moms first, people who's close to me. And I'm not saying that my extended was not close to me, but I know their personalities, and that wasn't the type of situation that I wanted to go to. And it's nothing against the artist, nothing against Juvie, Juvie, Jeezy, Vax the Thing Up, and MJG, whoever else was there. And my sister, they said she made it happen. I'm like, how did she make that happen? How did she make it happen? And then I seen my cousin, which she's a makeup artist, so she's always did beautiful face. But then I seen, is his name Omar Epps, the one who played in the movie with Juice Q? I think that's him. I used one of his memes before when he's like, ah. I used that when I was like, and I was trolling Americans, I ain't gonna lie, my American friends, because they wasn't fucking nice. I guess they really weren't my friends then, but I don't, I was like, oh, now you want to come to Africa. Ah, yeah, but they deserve it because I've been saying it, and then when things come to pass, then I know what it is. I don't get enough clout. So I'm going to respond to people who give me clout and appreciate the ones who give me clout, clout, clout. I'm going to talk about black women real quick because, man, I love that fucking roast Sinji. But let me go on when Sinji be roasting, and I think that's good for domestic abuse people. But I don't think it's good for people who's already angry and feeling vengeful, you know, in that emotion, because if you really the victim, and you hear that, it makes you feel pumped up. But when after you go through the grieving process, and I'm not talking about all women, after you go through the grieving process, we may still be mad. Um, when I was going through the investigation in Korea, I was still mad afterwards. So, and this was the white man's. No wonder I be watching my back. I was doing a white people move. Like I was finding out, like, oh, and then where I worked at, it was easy for me to find out. I could find out where they worked, say how horrible that they was and what they did. And I couldn't say it in those words. I had to use the trickery of the words. And that's when I found out about these memos they've been writing. They be like, if you file a civil rights claim or abuse or racist, they be like, it's true but not in its entirety. Found it but not in its entirety. Some shit like that. So that's where I got that word from. But anyway, when I was doing that, I, you know, used the paperwork of them being proven to be wrong to my advantage. And one of the captains, he resigned his commission, and I was happy about that because he had a choice. He was white, so of course he gonna go with his friends, but he had a choice not to coon out. And he's supposed to be my friend. I held his baby, and he still was doing that. Like I just couldn't. I was like nice to all of them, but I didn't understand my place at that time. Black. Now, let me tell you something about black. So after the hate crime, and this is so weird because y'all should know by now, who have paid attention to me, I had the hate crime in 2019 as soon as I came back in a hospital medical system rehab that the military sent me to. TRICARE, of course. Thank you. Civil rights case that I was too traumatized by to go through. When I was doing Airbnb, and this is when I was traveling, not renting it out myself, I was going after the hate crime. I always went to certain people's house that was like similar to myself. I scheduled an Airbnb in Prescott, Arizona, which that's where it happened. And there was this white couple who had traveled to Africa. The wife was a medium. She was sensitive to the internet. She only listened to the radio. She just didn't like modern society. They had a farm. They had all this natural food, goat cheese, and the man used to be a military. He was a veteran, real old man, and he took me to the hospital to help me get my stuff. Like I was crying. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I was traumatized, and this white couple helped me. So if I ever get clout or get important, I'm going to show them appreciation. Now let me go. I talked in circles, but let me tell you what this has to do with black women, though. So that was that couple. And then I got an Airbnb in Florida. It was a Haitian woman. Then I got an Airbnb in another part of Florida. It was a Cuban couple, not a dark-skinned couple. They were light-skinned and they were really old. And they didn't speak much English. And so did the Haitian woman. She didn't speak much English. They both Airbnbs had been in Florida for like 20 something years, and guess what? The white couple, the Haitian woman, the light white old ass Cuban couple, and I'm cussing because I'm in front of my sister house. You feel me? So please, my Africans, people who think I'm supposed to be this perfect bitch. If I hear it, I want to say it. So, sorry. But anyway, they all have black statues, and our deities that's going to is black women. Black men too, but in that spiritual realm, the betrayal is too much. So the things that need to change will change. So don't fight that. Make the evildoers uncomfortable. Let everybody do their job, and don't put your people in situations that they can't thrive in. I couldn't thrive in that. And it was after I told them about the car show in Dallas. And, oh no, I can get clout. I like to get clout from, I like my generation, but I don't like the bad side. And I want the peaceful people, the kicking it folks. I like that, so that's better. Man, A-Way is so good. A-Way is so good. Clout. What else? Okay, so now that I have my space, and it was hard to redo, we had to talk about depression. Man. Oh, let me go back to black women. It doesn't matter what you believe or do. Try to look at things objectively now. Dr. Mumbai says the unborn, the dead, and the living reunite. Think about what that means, and also think about look into the rishis and the deities and ancestral worship. And I'm not saying get all into it and obsessed with it, but just think about your dreams, your memories, your lineage, and just different things. And a lot of people, treason and karmic debt is similar to each other. It was 12 minutes, and the average time that people have to listen to me is 12 minutes. But I can show you up a pattern. I've had my run-ins with different forms of divinity, but ultimately I don't specialize in anything because I'm sensitive to everything. I mean, not I just have to prepare myself for what's going on out there. And everybody served a purpose. Jada Black, I used to call him the relationship demon. I don't listen to all this stuff, but whenever I catch something, I'll be like, that's some real shit. He was talking about this football player today, and this ain't even clout. Somebody told my old best friend, I haven't seen her in years, she's in the hospital with cancer. You see, the people don't pay no attention to black women. And then the black women, when I was doing my projects, I wanted it to be black women on the face of different things. But my beautiful relatives, cousins, sisters, and friends that were dark-skinned, they didn't like being in the spotlight. Even if they had the talent, and that really bugged me. But and when I tried to use dark-skinned men, which is my cousins, yeah, I'm talking about you, he was like, I don't want that for my image. I'm an artist, blah, blah, blah. I'm more than an artist than you. The only reason why you an artist probably is because what you did with Troy and Bow Wow and y'all. Who else famous you mentioned? I only remember them old school people. I'm not up to date with nobody new. Some of them is just, it's too negative. It's too negative. But anyway, my cousin think he all that because he was around all this industry stuff. And they have to have big egos and kiss ass too. I don't know. and but I draw paint. I'm not saying he's bad at what he's doing, but I know I draw paint right. I do everything myself. And I'm pretty fucking talented. I mean to toot my own horn, but I should. Because nobody else tooted my own horn. And when they did, they got on my nerves in a stalky ass way. But anyway, he didn't want me to use his image, my dark skinned man cousin. Talking about he didn't want it to be because, I guess because I represent disadvantaged, and it shows like, oh, she acknowledges she's a bit crazy or a bit overwhelming or too much. Of course I do. People been telling it to me since I was a child. Look, y'all. See, I can hear people out there, but I like the birds and stuff and the natural music and nature because I can make music off of that. But let's see if somebody does something I want them to do for once, and I want to go to the Geechee stuff and Kwame Brown stuff, and I want to bring my shakers. I don't know how much everybody believes, but I know a lot of us are deep into prophecies and the ones. You know, in each family there's a one that evolves in a certain area, and everything ain't meant for everybody. So people who talking and telling the truth and nothing but the truth, like Lance Scurf, I just was calling, he be sounding like yeah, like he could tell a real good story. But I really like Love Yourself story because that hit so deep for me. And I have so many ideas and I like to get it started, and it's just now coming to pass, I feel, because I get to leave and be by myself, and I have enough money to do what I want, and I can go where I want. Still waiting for my passport, but I can do that as long as I leave. As long as I leave, and I'm flexible. But I like going. The family is very overwhelming, but I like being around other diviners because sometimes I don't even have to talk to them, and they're not making me feel weird and shit. You know, like, then while folks looking at you weird, I'm looking at them weird shit. And then when you get mad, and everybody want some type of companionship, validation, or friendship, and it start off with you just want to have a good activity, you want to have a good time. Then the next thing you know, somebody fucking with you or jealous of your situation. So, and then I used to be jealous of situations. I was jealous of my sisters because I've never had more than a 1 year uh, relationship. And when I did have more than 1 year, it was like a off and on random thing, maybe with the same